Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, and this is another episode of Unger the Radar, where we talk all things film. And I have a wonderful panel of guest critics. As always, we have Miss Erica A. Welcome back, Erica.
Hey Randy, glad to be here. It's nice to be back. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
It has, but I'm glad you're here now, and we're gonna have some fun tonight. We got some movies to review, and I'm really happy that you could join us tonight. And also with us, Rob Harris. Rob, welcome back, sir.
Thanks for having me, Randy. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the Last Duel, the beta test, and we're going to close things out with Spencer. So those are our three film reviews for tonight. But before we get into that, I just want to go around and see what you guys are watching this week. I know for me, it's a mix of Mad About You episodes and Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I've actually included a new show, The Crown. I know I'm a little late to the party, but because of Spencer, I decided to get into this show. And so far, it's really, really good. Very well acted. The production value is great, and I'm glad I'm getting into it. It's on Netflix, guys, just so you know. But ladies first, Erica, what are you watching these days?
Oh, these days I've been very excited. Season 2 of Condor returned to Epic. So I enjoyed the back-to-back return of the character, though only he survived season 1. Sort of. I mean, there were other characters. I'm not spoiling anything. There were a few people. For the most part, it's like just, I'm a spy. Shoot, 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 shoot. And so now he was hiding in Europe, but the CIA brought him back.
Okay.
And it's looks like another great adventure. I've been enjoying some of the CW shows. I'm looking forward to the big crossover event next week. Mm-hmm. I mean, Supergirl had her big event, but I was so sad that they had their wedding and no one showed up for the wedding from any other show. So for me, that broke my heart. I'm like, just because the last wedding had like another dimension of your counterparts come and try to kill you all, why couldn't there be a big wedding?
That's what I said.
Yeah, I know. You fell long behind in the Arrowverse.
Yeah, I still have
Arrow can't show up because he's long gone years ago.
So,
and of course, I'm still watching Ladybug and Cat Noir. I know it's not appropriate. It's sort of a kid's show or sort of like a teenage girl, but it's built on magical girl anime, which falls close to my heart. It's a very similar format to Sailor Moon from like back in the early 90s.
That's not immature. I think about rewatching Muppet Babies, so
Well, that's not wrong. That's nostalgic.
Yes, exactly.
There's a difference between rewatching and watching a contemporary show right now that reminds you of something nostalgic. Okay. But I know plenty of other people who are online who say, I know it's for younger people, but I'm watching it because I loved Sailor Moon and it's a great show. And season 4 has just been falling short for me, but we're almost to the finale. There are only a few episodes from it in France.
Nice.
Nice. So I'm waiting for the English dub because I don't have the strength for reading it. It goes to 100 other countries before it comes here, but
yeah.
But I've been enjoying that. More miraculous have been revealed, more holders, and I'm looking forward to Defeat of Hawkmoth. It only took 4 years, but it looks like it's going to happen.
So Erica, you're obviously an anime buff. Are you thinking of going back to Katsucon in February?
Not this year, but I hope maybe next year. Okay. Between the health scare and the pandemic still going on. But I am debating seeing My Hero Academia's the new movie that came out in theaters. I was sad that I missed Demon Slayer. I'm like, wait, what is the name of that one? I always butcher every name of everything. That came out in theaters right around when movie theaters started opening at the pandemic.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you something about My Hero Academia. I heard from someone actually today that it was not that great of a movie. So
well, I think you have to be vested in it.
Yeah. I'm just giving you a heads up. That's what I heard.
Okay. Well, I haven't yet been desperate enough to go online and read all the spoilers. I'm sure fandom has been updated, and I'm sure the wikis have been updated, and I could find out if all the class survive and who gets a new skill and who the bad guy is if I really wanted to. But I enjoyed the first 2 movies.
Good. And speaking of spoilers, it wasn't really a spoiler, but yesterday I watched a short clip from Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I wish I didn't see that clip because it was
I
so
found all
cool.
the clips to be massive spoilers.
I can't. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm just going to wait until next week, and that's it. So yeah. Rob, sorry. What are you watching these days?
Okay, I'm done. I was gonna.
Oh, did you have more?
I was just gonna say, and I've been enjoying Bull, but all right, well, we're done.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been watching a lot of nostalgic stuff myself. Whenever I'd sit down to eat a meal, I'd watch like bits and pieces of Demolition Man. And,
Oh, that's a great movie.
yeah,
Love that movie. So good.
Yeah, I know. And I also made my way through The Running Man.
Okay.
And I started. We finished most of the first Ninja Turtles movie. I watched that with Jen, and she was really enjoying that one.
Okay.
I tried to get her to watch The Bear. I don't know if you guys have seen that one.
Oh, Danny DeVito?
No, this movie is from, I want to say like the mid 80s, like 83 or 85, something like that.
I'm going to venture another guess. Sigourney Weaver?
No.
Thinking of, but there was a movie with.
I don't have the name, but I know what movie you're talking about.
You know
I'm not even gonna, I know it, but like I said, I butcher everyone's name, so I could say I know it. It's the one with that person, but that doesn't help.
Yeah, I want to say it's a French movie. If I'm not mistaken, but yeah, when we have a commercial break, you know, I'll look it up for you.
I'm actually there right now. 1988 French film.
Mm-hmm.
It's an adventure drama family film. Yeah, I remember seeing the VHS in like, you know.
Oh, no, I remember it much later on. I found it randomly on TV, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember watching it on TV with my dad when I was a kid, and it's one of those films that was really special, and it stuck with me, you know, throughout all the years. And I still like to revisit it. It's a good movie. Like if you like animals, it's 2 thumbs up.
Okay, it looks very wholesome, very family friendly.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay,
it's a little bit slow paced, but I mean, I like movies like that.
Awesome.
Anyway.
And you mentioned Demolition Man, and I think we may have to do a feature-length commentary for that at some point.
Please, let's go.
No, Demolition Man has to be a model for what not to do for the future. It should be it should be a history lesson. We have to save our restaurants. We can't let everything turn into Taco Bell.
You mean Taco Bell isn't a fine dining establishment?
Let us star in a Taco Bell.
Yes. I love it. With Rob Schneider, Sandra Bullock, Bob Gunton as the police chief, and I love the technology they have.
Oh,
what, Erica?
I was like, it's almost like the prerequisite for Judge Dredd.
Yeah. I think it's Judge Dredd's like you know, ancestor.
Yeah. That was a weird time for Stallone. He had some really weird movies during that period from like 1990 on. But also Assassins is a great one.
Also, what's the one? Cobra was also like really lovable, but like, you know, weird. Like
another fun one, Tango and Cash.
Yeah,
that's what I just said.
I didn't hear you, Erica. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one.
They had perfect chemistry in that. Him and Kurt Russell.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, guys. So yeah, let's get into our first review. So we've got The Last Duel. It's been out for a few weeks, but you know what? I figured, you know, Rob, you saw it and it piqued my interest. It's directed by Ridley Scott. Fantastic director. He really doesn't need an introduction, but this film kind of went back to his Gladiator roots from like 20 years ago, you know, especially with the intense battle and action sequences. So I really felt like that was an extension of the Gladiator style, which I loved. You've got Matt Damon, you've got Adam Driver, Jodie Comer, and Ben Affleck in a very strange supporting role. And all of these actors brought their A game. This was a fantastic film. I went first for Ridley Scott, but second for the cast, because it's really phenomenal what they did here. But Rob, since you were a fan, you put the idea in my head to see this, and I'm glad you did. What did you think of The Last Duel?
I personally loved it. It really kind of caught me off guard. Truth be told, I found out about the movie because my coworker is very into medieval films like this about sword fighting and stuff like that. He likes Game of Thrones. He's like, Rob, like we got to go see this movie. So I'm like, okay. I really didn't know anything about it. The movie ended and I was like, oh, directed by Ridley Scott, of course. Like it made sense. Like, but very, very good. I really have to praise the editing of the film. It kind of backtracks several times, and it really plays with the idea that perspective and memory are, almost like imperceptible at times, like, but there's still like truth in the way we all perceive things. I don't know. The editing just really kind of made the story unfold in a really unique way is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, overall just a really good film, like good cinematography, like Ridley Scott's masterful. And one more thing, the lighting was really gripping. There were many scenes, like obviously it's a medieval period piece when they're in a castle at nighttime and there's candles everywhere and it's absolutely gorgeous. Like there's a fireplace. So yeah, praise to this film. Go see it.
Yeah, like it's like you would imagine that time period to look like. Like visually, this movie's perfect, I'd say.
Yeah. Costumes also.
Yeah. And it's such a shame because it was a pretty expensive film, but it kind of tanked at the box office the first week, and it's really disappointing.
I think it's because it came out the wrong week. It had too much competition its week when it came out.
Yeah, and that's a real shame. But I love pretty much everything about it. This might be on my top 10. It's kind of early to tell, but this is definitely in the running. This might be like a runner-up, but we shall see. Yeah, this is a really I love the story structure with the acts, the chapters. That was pretty cool. And like you said, Rob, perspective is really played with a lot here, making for a very interesting storytelling device. Erica, what do you think of the film?
Well, I had been dying to see it for weeks. I had told you about it back when it like the week before it came out, and I said, are you looking at it? And you were like, I don't know this movie.
Yeah.
And so I felt that I was very glad to see the blonde woman back in it. She brought back all the passion from when she was the White Princess. Great series, the sequel to the White Queen.
Okay.
And I don't think they shot in the same place, but the castles had a very similar style to it. I loved seeing the Adam Driver and Matt Damon dynamic. I don't think they've ever done a movie together, and so they had a lot going for them, I felt. Something you don't see normally. The storytelling and the writing of it was it's a new style, but I love the way they do it. It isn't overdone yet, where you tell the story in multiple points of view. And so I give that to the writers and the screen and the adapters who made the story. Very like Hero, or this action movie that came out 2 years ago. I believe it was called Anna.
Okay.
Where it's that kind of thing, where first you watch it from one point of view and then you go to the other. Right. And also you left off one of the most important characters, the older woman.
The older woman.
Who I didn't know her name, but I mean, from Sense and Sensibility to she did the Spanish Princess to Belgravia to everything. She's your go-to.
And I believe I spotted her in an early episode of The Crown last night.
Yes, she did several episodes of The Crown.
Right.
And Victoria, and
you sent me the name. What was it? Harriet? What was it? Harriet Walsh?
Oh, go check. I sent you the name. I don't. I butcher everyone's name.
Yeah. Hold on.
And so, but yeah, anyone who has watched any period pieces, any dramas, her. She is the person you expect to see in that dark, evil mother who's going to just be there telling you, have to push through, and it's going to be horrible, and I'm going to make you suffer, woman.
Yeah, she was an interesting character in Ridley Scott's film. Like, I'm glad that you brought her up, Eric.
Because, I mean, I don't know if that means that she's typecast or she's just the person that you expect and you want to see playing that role.
Her name's Harriet Walter. She's actually a dame. And she was in Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Last Duel, obviously, Succession, The Crown, Killing Eve. She's also
another person from Killing Eve, just like the other one, the blonde woman who plays.
Yeah, she's been on Broadway too, so she's very accomplished, and she added a little bit of class to this film. I'm glad she was.
Oh no, the movie is classy enough. She brought a little bit of.
I'm trying to.
But no, it was a great movie, and it's terrible that people didn't go see it. I don't know if it was just like I said because it came out against other movies.
Yeah.
And didn't have its own fair week. But the cast were amazing. The storytelling style was was a fun way of doing it that you don't see as often.
Yeah.
The story itself was enjoyable. The fight scenes were wonderful. I'm not spoiling anything with the fight scene. The fight scene is the opening scene.
Right.
So
and a bookend.
And then I guess the most important part is it's true to history. So if you know the story already, Hollywood doesn't screw it up.
Yeah.
Hollywood ends correctly.
It's actually based on the book, The Last Duel, a true story of trial by combat in medieval France. So that's probably an interesting read. I wonder if the book does the different perspectives.
Probably. That's why the movie does it that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
The story itself, I mean, is like remarkable, especially for its time, in which it takes place. So yeah, I mean, very empowering.
And I also like the king. I believed he was truly the insane.
He was so funny. Oh my goodness, he was so funny. He was
because he's Charles.
Like
he's
twiddling his fingers with his rings and stuff.
But he's Charles. He's the one who later in his life thinks he's made of glass and has actual iron nailed into his body so he doesn't fall over. So I felt the guy who played the king, I don't think he was anyone. He was so entertaining, so believable that he's really going bad.
Yeah. Yep.
He was just kind of just going with it, but I actually really liked Ben Affleck in this. I thought he was hilarious.
Really?
Yeah.
I felt he was like such a waste. I felt so sad that Ben Affleck got wasted in the movie and sort of fall through the cracks.
No, he had a pretty substantial part as the he just wanted to have sex throughout the whole movie. That was it. I thought it was really funny, and his blonde goatee was very weird and distracting. But anyway,
it was. I mean, like when I think of that movie, I just think of like the blonde hair, like on him and stuff.
It was so
I actually went and saw a thing I found online that explained how that was rational. In different ways in that era, one could actually bleach their hair from using urine to all different things, and I'm like, okay, this is what we're focusing on what people are explaining about the movie after it came out and it tanked. But I found that sort of creepy and interesting.
And I want to go back to Jodie Comer. I've never seen her before. The only other thing I've seen her was in the film Free Guy, which was a couple months ago. And I thought she was the best part of that movie. So she's definitely
she is great in Killing Eve, and she was so believable, and she grows so much in The White Princess, and she has done I think she's done other things, but those are the things I think of her most. I mean, I felt like this was just bringing back The White Princess in this movie.
Indeed.
Even if it's 100 or 200 years earlier taking place.
I'm going to definitely check out her filmography because she's really good. Very talented young actress. But yeah, I think it's unanimous. We would recommend this film to other people. Yeah,
absolutely. Yes.
And everyone out there watching and listening, check out Ridley Scott's filmography because the man is a genius. I just want to do a little side conversation here about Scott and how much of an influence he's been on, with many modern filmmakers. Rob, favorite Ridley Scott film? I'm curious.
I mean, just in the context of The Last Duel, the first thing that comes to mind is Gladiator.
Okay.
My coworker Dan, who turned me on to The Last Duel, and I were talking about Gladiator today.
Nice.
And I, as he was walking away, I was like, "Are you not entertained?" So,
Nice.
I mean, Gladiator is a classic. I didn't realize that he directed Kingdom of Heaven. That's also like a
Oh,
very
that's a
Oh,
great
sincere
movie.
forgot about
piece.
that one.
With
Orlando
Orlando
Bloom, right?
Bloom.
Yep.
Right.
Uh-huh. Oh, and I know, Randy, you said that you were on a Michael Douglas kick.
Yeah.
Black Rain.
Black Rain, yeah.
I still have to see it. I almost watched it the other day. Alien, Blade Runner, of
Thelma
course.
and Louise, it's pretty good. The Martian was probably his most recent success.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Oh, and he has an upcoming film that looks great from the trailer, House of Gucci, which also
Oh,
has
yeah.
Adam Driver, Lady Gaga, Jeremy Irons, Al Pacino. It's great, an amazing cast, all Oscar winners. So yeah, that's great. Oh, and of course, Blade Runner. We can't forget that. That's one of my go-to films if I ever want to fall asleep to a movie, I would put that on because it's just like it's so quiet, and so relaxing. It just puts me right to sleep. But when I'm awake, it's great too. So. But yeah, The Last Duel, guys, it is now out in theaters. So go
It'd be
check
on
it
everyone's
out.
radar.
Yeah, it's definitely on mine. And you know what? It's only, if you're in the New York City area, it's only playing in 2 theaters right now. It may be only 1 now. But yeah, because it's been out for a while. So go check it out now while you can on the big screen where it is meant to be experienced, because it's fantastic. All right, guys. So we're going to take a short commercial break, but we'll be back with more film reviews right after this.
Under the Radar is brought to you by Magnitude Jewelry. Add a 2 to match your attitude. Patent pending interchange genuine gemstone and crystal EMF protection jewelry. For more information, please visit magnitudejewelry.com/gemgirl or call 718-268-6634.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Randy Younger Under the Radar, and we are down to our final 2 film reviews. This film, I watched it last night. It's very, very odd. It's a strange one. It's called The Beta Test, and it focuses on this very eccentric young businessman. He's a Hollywood agent, and he gets an anonymous envelope which has an invitation for an anonymous sexual encounter. He goes to the encounter, and after that, weird stuff happens, even weirder than the invitation. And we've got Jim Cummings, who is the lead. He's the star here. He also wrote and directed the film with co-star PJ McCabe. And yeah, I'm still digesting it. It was so unique, such an original story, and the way that they played it out was very interesting. And I don't know if you'd call it a horror thriller, comedy, dramedy. It's got all these different genres mixed in. It's a head scratcher. It's violent at times. It's sexy. It's well acted from Jim Cummings, it's basically his show all the way through. But I think it's on my radar. I like that, the originality that the film portrayed. But Erica, what did you think? I know you're not a horror fan, but
Well, I didn't think it was horror at all. That's what made it watchable. I would have called it a romantic mystery sexcapade type thing. Not quite porno. That's what made it okay. At times it got a little, I'm like, okay, someone's crazy sex fantasy, but
yeah.
It was also a romance. It was a couple. It was a story about him and her and working up to their engagement.
Right.
And at time it was the great mystery.
Right. I'll give you
Piecing together
mystery.
the clue. Oh, what was that?
No, I would, yeah, I like the mystery is a good genre that this falls into. Like a mystery thriller, I think would be the best way to describe. Yeah.
Romance mystery thriller. I liked it compared to many of the other things you've put us through over the years.
Right. This was a screening link that I get every now and then, press screener. I think this is in theaters in a limited release, but usually the screening links I get not the greatest of quality. Sometimes I get some winners, sometimes not, as Erica and Rob, even you probably have experienced some stinkers. But like I said, this film, the beta test, very original, very different, and that's what I liked most about it. I didn't love the story or the plot or the acting as much, just the fact of what it was trying to say and how it was trying to say it. That's what really made it interesting for me.
I did like the story. That's what made it. I liked the mystery of it, the piecing together, the going and finding it. I found the acting a little annoying at times. None of the characters felt very relatable, but it had promise. And for a small budget film, like it seemed like it really told the story clearly. I liked the lighting. I liked the believability, the driving around. They drove in different cars. It felt like it was really taking place in LA. Yeah. It had a real feel to it, and that's what made it enjoyable for me. So not as good as The Last Duel.
Right.
But okay.
And I don't want people to get confused by Jim Cummings, the actor and the writer-director here, not to be confused with Jim Cummings, the voice actor, who he's best known as Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Tasmanian Devil, Darkwing Duck, etc. Slightly more well-known, but very different from this Jim Cummings. But yeah, Rob, what did you think of the beta test?
So, like you, Randy, I was still like, I saw it last night as well, and I was thinking about it like all day today, and I was like, what did I take from this movie? You know, it kind of made me want to like revisit some things like Brave New World. I don't know if you guys have read that, but I felt like the way it was approaching relationships and some kind of like societal disconnect was similar, like that I've encountered in Brave New World. But there were some things about it that didn't quite gel for me. Like, first of all, the way it opens up was really graphic.
The beginning, with the crazy subtitles.
Right.
I felt like it was like a improper foreshadowing, like, I mean, I was like, oh, okay, this is like a horror, like murder story, but the way that it turned out, like, I was like, why did they show that at the beginning? There were some things that I felt like could have been worked out a little bit more in the story and the script. But yes, overall, it was interesting, caught me by surprise. Like I want to say like an hour into it, I was like, oh wow, like I didn't really see this going here. But yeah, I mean, not to spoil anything, I could talk about the story with you guys on the side, but yeah, I mean, interesting, thought-provoking.
Yeah. What did you think of the lead actor, Jim Cummings?
I thought he was good. I mean, his character, was kind of not likable.
Right.
Definitely.
I kind of wanted to be like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, calm down. Like,
I know.
Like, it's gonna be okay.
Very hyper, very high strung, very annoying actually throughout most of the film.
Yeah, I mean, like it was uncomfortable watching him. Like very paranoid. It was almost like he was mentally ill.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He had he was definitely on some spectrum or something. I don't know.
Right. Even like, there's a scene in the end where he's like really breaking down and opening up and being honest with his wife, and that was like you really see his pain and everything like that, and he's got some issues for sure that are coming out.
But I found that part to be his only redeeming part, when The
It
marriage,
was.
when they finally were together again, they got through the whole getting married process, and she's like, okay, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they were smoking something, and they were keeping from each other, and I'm like, oh, it's almost like a love story, except it's sort of weird and awkward.
Also, he had a pretty good monologue in the parking garage. There's that fun, I think that was a scene right before the diner.
Yeah, that's the scene that we
Yeah.
were both talking about. Yeah.
Right. He just kind of broke down. It was like nuts. Kind of reminded me of American Psycho a little bit.
I could see that.
Like that white collar, really uptight, borderline, schizophrenic, and I don't know. I know the point of his character was us not to like him, but I really didn't like him. I don't know. Maybe if they picked a better actor, it would have.
Well, it was his movie, so they couldn't pick an actor.
I know I have full creative control, I'm sure, but I don't know. This is one of those like films that I'm gonna need some repeat viewings, I think.
Yeah. I felt like I was struggling to find a takeaway from this. Like, I don't know. Like Erica, like, I mean, you put it really well when you said like it had great potential, and it does. There are many things about it that are inspirational, to say the least. So.
But it also had so many places where it just left the plot off and didn't explain it.
Yes,
and I think that also hurt us.
A lot of little things.
I mean, there's also all the random killing parts that don't get explained.
Right. I mean, like they were kind of out of place. Like they're Fear Factor almost, Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of supporting characters. You're like, what happened to that person?
Yeah.
Which I don't think we're going to get a sequel, but I think it'd be pretty cool. This would have been a better series, I think, if they stretched this out over the course of like 8 episodes.
So a mini series.
Yeah, I think it would have been a perfect mini series for sure.
But, that's a good point.
But that it's weird because TV nowadays feels like movies. The story structure.
No.
Not okay, quite. Erica. TV does not feel like movies these days?
No, TV gives you that gratification that movies sometimes can't do. No. I mean, I understand that TV now has film quality, but...
I really think that TV shows now are just movies chopped up into 10 episodes, and that's that. Which I'm not complaining, because I love quality TV. I just started The Crown. It's great. But anyway, beta test. I'm going to have to watch this again. I liked it, and I'm pretty sure there's some stuff I missed. And yeah, it's a bizarre one, and I'm kind of glad this came across my radar. Rob, would you recommend this to people?
I mean, I think it's very taste specific. I think if you like thrillers, if you like mysteries, I would recommend it for sure. Because it is very interesting. But if it's not your type of movie, then I'd say maybe let it fly.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I saw it. Thank you, Randy.
Sure. Yeah. Definitely audiences have to proceed with caution here, because they, and you got to explain it without giving spoilers away, just to, give them a heads up. But that's one of those weird films. But Erica, would you recommend this to people?
Okay, I'm going to explain. So okay. I'd say maybe it's worth seeing, like Rob was saying, if you like the mystery, if you like a mystery that has sort of random side stories and romances and and side characters that will come and go. It's worth seeing. I'm not sure I would rewatch it multiple times, like Randy, like you talked about.
Okay.
But it was okay, and I would never want it as a mini-series, because I don't think we could ever all sit through the main character week after week after week. The way he was so unlikable, right. I think that would be a good reason to not come back after the first episode.
But is that a character thing, or is it an actor thing that you?
I don't know. I've never seen him in anything else, so it's hard to tell.
That's a good point. Yeah, I could actually have even seen him as a superhero, maybe even like a.
No, I would see him more as like a Jim Carrey type over the top person, but not in an over frustrating way that he was in this one.
I'd like to see him in a very serious role, because this one was
Okay.
This role was a little too zany for my taste, but it was still a decent watch. It's like an onion, lots of layers. So, all right, guys, so that's the beta test, and it is now out in select theaters. So check it out, but proceed with caution because it is a weird one. All right, guys. So our third and final film review of the evening, this one I was looking forward to seeing. It's called Spencer, and it basically follows Princess Diana, basically after she's married to Prince Charles. They have this very strained relationship, and I believe she leaves him. Well, there's no spoiler there, but basically this film focuses on Princess Diana's mental state after this relationship, and basically her trying to survive Christmas with her family and her servants. And she's got a weird relationship with one of the women who works there, and it shows the two kids, Harry, and I forget the other one's name.
William.
Thank you. And yeah, basically Kristen Stewart plays Diana, and she's fantastic. This is probably, in my opinion, from what I've seen, one of only two movies that I really appreciated her. She actually played a prison guard at Guantanamo Bay in a movie called Camp X-Ray. It was a few years back, and that was the first time I was like, wow, she can really act. She's not just a pretty face. She's a strong actor. And she definitely expresses that those acting chops very well here in Spencer. And she's the main focus here. She's the highlight. Also, in terms of actors, Timothy Spall, who plays he's sort of like a butler, a houseman, and he's like very suspicious, I want to say, of Princess Diana. I don't know why, but he's just got like this weird attitude, and he's a fantastic actor in his own right. He was in Enchanted. He had a small role in that. He's great in this. But yeah, Spencer, I liked it a lot. I didn't love it. I loved Kristen Stewart's performance. She was really good. Erica, ladies first, what did you think of the film?
Okay, I have to badmouth the movie.
Of course.
I did not enjoy it.
Okay.
I love history. I love English history. I felt that, why did they have to make up all these random characters and distort the timeline? I could not understand why Anne Boleyn is there. That's not a spoiler. Why is throughout the movie Anne Boleyn following her? And also the whole time, all I'm thinking about, did they recreate the costume, or is that the costume they were able to get from the other Boleyn girl from like 10 years ago and put it on someone? And then I'm like, who's playing Anne Boleyn? Wait, why is she here? I understand what the storyline of Anne Boleyn and Diana imagining her and talking to her. I mean, I did appreciate Diana's plot. It did have authenticity, and I did find that at times Kristen Stewart was believable as Diana, and sometimes I just saw her as her, and I went, yeah, she looks pretty. Okay. But it didn't feel believable, and the only parts I really enjoyed were the Diana, William, and Harry plots.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why all the royal family are just standing there, and none of those actors really ever speak. And the military guy, the military butler security who was heading the whole Christmas event, which I believe is their 91 Christmas. It's supposedly to mimic that. That he's just there and he doesn't make sense, and then she's imagining the maid they made up for her, and there are all these random parts in her talk and her relationship with the random scarecrow, and I'm like, what is this? This makes no sense. Right. Yes, it's beautiful, but how could you ruin such a beautiful story?
You know what? Like right before we started recording, I was watching the episode of The Crown that features Princess Diana for the first time. And I would have loved to have seen that story in this movie, like the origin of Princess Diana. That's a very interesting story to
I would
tell.
have loved to have seen more of the Spencers. You know, it's called Spencer. I would have loved to have seen her sisters in this movie and actually how it relates to her becoming Princess of Wales.
Yeah.
I did do a little research and check out The Crown. I only watched an episode or two of once Diana shows up, not the earlier seasons.
Right.
But I decided afterwards, I was like, maybe I should do my research to know what I'm comparing it to.
Right. See what I did? I watched the first episode with like Winston Churchill, and then I fast forwarded to season 4 with.
Right. I started at season 4.
And it was kind of jarring. I'm not gonna lie, but I got the general idea. And I think the actress in The Crown plays Princess Diana better.
I agree.
A little more believable. You know, obviously, I remember as a kid, I remember when Princess Diana, sadly, you know, obviously she passed away. But I remember bits and pieces. She was very popular with the paparazzi, with the media. And I think that would have been an interesting story to tell. I don't know if that's what happened
during those era, I believe, was the other royal who was forced to be thrust in, Duchess of York, Fergie.
Yeah.
And that she never speaks in the movie, which makes no sense.
It's a lot of missed opportunities here. It's
that were lost. I mean, they're both fictional dramatizations of the royal family, and maybe it's a little early. Maybe that's our problem. It's a little too soon for it, since William and Harry are still young contemporary people.
Yeah.
Point.
So.
Yeah.
Rob, what did you think of Spencer? I'm curious your thoughts, sir.
I mean, I thought the cinematography was very interesting.
Beautiful. It is a really beautiful movie.
Yeah. There are so many like wonderful pauses in it that like just kind of allow you to feel the space that's, you know, people are moving through. Beautiful landscape portraits in the movie and stuff like that, for sure. Relating to what you were saying, Erica, about many of the characters just kind of like being in the background, you know, just like for show and not really speaking. Yeah, I saw this with my girlfriend Jen, and I was saying the same thing. They were almost like paintings, like in the background. You know, they weren't like developed at all. I very much wanted to see perspective from other characters in the movie. And just the fact that it took place over Christmas time was kind of stifling and disappointing. You know, I wanted to see more about Diana and just like not mental illness and like, you know, her being uncomfortable. But
or maybe just exploring, I found the uncomfortableness more with her interaction with other people instead of them being paintings, or I felt like they were mannequins almost.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, and you were also saying, Erica, about that the character that she was resonating with, you know, the book that she was reading. I don't remember the character's name.
Oh, Anne Boleyn, Henry's second wife.
Right. I mean, you might as well just have made a movie about Anne Boleyn. Like, I mean, that would have been interesting, but it was kind of a weird tie-in. You know, like, I mean, I get what they were going for, but just an interesting, odd aesthetic choice. But
and you know, the whole theme of mental illness, that's kind of like a cheap tactic to win awards, because a lot of you know, Oscar nominated films in the past have dealt with mental illness, and those have won awards. You know, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, A Beautiful Mind, you know, stuff like that. So
Monster.
Yeah, there's so many. So I wanted, honestly, I just wanted an origin of Princess Diana, you know, something simple, straightforward.
I feel like I didn't really learn all that much about her. You know, and also, Erica, what you were saying about the scenes with her children were like really beautiful and uplifting. And, you know, Jen knows way more about Princess Diana than I do. And she was saying like that was very like accurate, you know, like she was great with her kids and like, anyway. So.
That's good. Now, Kristen Stewart, she came on the scene really, I think the first time I saw her, it was 2008 for Into the Wild, where she played like this this for me anyway, that was the first time I saw her. This sexy trailer park girl. And after that, she obviously did, moved on to success with Twilight. But Erica, what did you think of her portrayal?
I was gonna say, wasn't that her in Catch That Kid?
Catch That Kid.
With her, Corbin Bleu. Is that her with Corbin Bleu? And then the other boy is also equally someone who came up. They were all like 8, 9 years old then.
Catch That Kid. I am not familiar, Rob.
Was she also in Speak? I haven't seen Catch That Kid though.
I want to say that's what the title of the movie is called. I believe that's her.
I think she has been around she was a child actress.
Yeah.
But
I want to say since like that movie.
Yeah. But she really doesn't show much range. She's either just serious, contemplative, and that's about it. I don't think I've ever seen her like laugh or anything, which is sad. But I would have liked to have seen more range of emotion in Spencer. But I think she gave a pretty good performance here. Erica, is there another actress that you would have envisioned?
I don't know. Like I was saying, it still feels so early to try to picture Princess Diana now as a person of a different time period, because yes, it's been so long since she passed away, but you still have Charles in the news. You still have William and Harry, who are so prevalent every day.
Right.
It's hard to think of her as a person playing her back then, even though it's been over 20 years.
Right. Well, and I briefly looked at Princess Diana's Wikipedia page. Numerous actresses have portrayed her and stuff. So
she even has a musical right now, I believe, right?
I have not heard of that. That sounds kind of cool, actually. But she only passed away 24 years ago, so that's still that. Yeah, Erica, to your point, kind of fresh. So, all right. Well, Spencer, I was expecting a lot more, but I say see it. It's on my radar, and I definitely see Stewart winning, at least being nominated for an Academy Award. I could definitely see that happening. Oh. Erica, no, not you disagree.
I'm cringing at it.
Well, I think Jennifer Hudson was a lot better in the movie Respect, but that's another discussion for a few months in the future. But Rob, would you recommend this?
I mean, if you're a Princess Diana fan, like it might be interesting. I enjoy the cinematography of it, but overall, I would probably not recommend it.
Okay,
that's just my personal preference. I didn't really feel like there was a strong takeaway. I mean, I was left more curious about
right. It piqued my interest too.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one for sure. And Erica, would you recommend?
I would say if you like things that are English, it had beautiful English countryside. They did a lot of work on the costumes, and
yeah,
I would nominate Anne Boleyn for Best Supporting Actress.
Nice.
Like her has had so many interesting roles. She was in Once Upon a Time. I went and looked up who was playing her and a bunch of other things, and I went, oh wow, it's very interesting. But the movie itself, I'm not sure where I stand on it, so make up your own mind. I'm kind of on the fence on it. I personally really didn't enjoy it, but it had some aspects that are worth seeing.
Yeah, the filmmakers made some interesting choices, questionable choices. But I think overall it was a decent film. Rob, I'm with you 100%. It's a beautiful film. Visually, this movie's pretty perfect.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna go see it see it for the cinematography and the art direction, production design, it's fantastic. And Kristen Stewart, of course, great. All right, guys, so that's Spencer, now out in theaters. So we are done with our film review portion. I just want to take the next few minutes to discuss some coming attractions. We've got one movie that everyone knows about, especially me. I think I might know a little bit about Ghostbusters Afterlife. And that comes out, 32 years after the second film. and this film basically picks up where that one left off. I'm hoping we don't really count the reboot from 2016. But yeah, we're going to do another episode in the near future reviewing this film. But yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife, it's the movie we've all been waiting for. After that, Erica, I believe you're going to come on the show to review King Richard.
Which I think looks very promising. So I'm going to look forward to that.
Yeah. We've got Will Smith as the father of Venus and Serena Williams, basically coaching his daughters and basically creating two tennis superstars. So that should be good. I hope that the filmmakers have made better choices than Spencer. So we'll see what happens with that. After that, we've got the new Joaquin Phoenix film, Come On, Come On, which, I love the actor. I've loved him for pretty much since Signs, and maybe before that in Gladiator. And, he won an Oscar 2 years ago for Joker. So the man does not disappoint most of the time. We also have a Romanian film called, so strange title, Bad Luck Banging or Loony Porn. It's Romanian, so I don't know. And next after that, we have something that piqued my interest, actually. It's called Black Friday, and it's a horror comedy about a group of disgruntled toy store employees who face a horde of parasite-infected shoppers on Black Friday. And it's got Devon Sawa, Michael Jai White, and Bruce Campbell. So yeah, Bruce Campbell. He also produced this one, so yeah, that should be decent. After that, we've got an Ethan Hawke thriller called Zeros and Ones, which I actually saw already, which was it's pretty interesting, pretty different. It was shot during the pandemic, so they did a lot of clever techniques, and might review that in the near future. But that's actually going to be released, so check that one out, Zeros and Ones. Next up, we've got a horror film called The Feast, followed by an Indian film called Bunti Aur Babli 2. It's a romantic film in Hindi, so that could be interesting. And lastly, we've got a strange one with a great cast. This one's called Pups Alone, which is basically Home Alone with dogs. So the dogs are basically setting trap. Yeah, Rob. Yeah. Pups Alone. So
Don't they know they've already rebooted Home Alone right now?
But not with dogs.
Okay.
Wow. What will they think of next?
Are they talking dogs though?
I don't know. I didn't watch the trailer, but here's the synopsis. While an inventor is away on a ski trip, neighborhood dogs use his creations to turn his home into a house of horrors for two inept thieves trying to steal the owner's latest invention. I'm not making this. I wish I were making this up, but
I think it might just do well out of everyone's sort of dumbfounded.
I'm going to see it.
It's gonna do better than Ghostbusters. And,
in its own right, it might be in its own right.
Yeah, and what's crazy? It's got a really good cast. So we've got.
Wait, who?
Yeah, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Rob Schneider, Dolph Lundgren, Danny Trejo, Eric Roberts, Jerry O'Connell, Malcolm McDowell, and Keith David, and Nicholas Turturro. So the filmmaker probably has a lot of money to waste.
You think they were all drunk at some party? It was like,
Yeah.
Or they were all talking on Zoom during the pandemic, and they went,
I have
"What
a
if we
great
made
idea
Home
for a
Alone with dogs?"
movie. You want to be in this movie? Come on. It's Home Alone with dogs. That's right, guys.
I'm going to be following this one very closely. Thank you for telling us about this.
You know what? I'm thinking maybe doing an episode where we just watch the movie all together and we react to it and do like
Where is it playing?
I don't know. It just says it's coming soon, and it probably won't do well. Surprise, surprise.
I hope it does really well.
No, I hope that it. I don't know what I hope. I hope that it's just a bad dream.
And the Oscar goes to.
Or the golden popcorn.
Nice.
This is definitely a Razzie. This is a Razzie movie all the way. It just sounds so horrible, and yeah, my interest is officially peaked. So we'll see what happens with this one. Pups Alone, guys. Pups Alone. Remember that title.
All right,
Let's go.
I love it. All right. So guys, we got about a minute or two left. I just wanted to go around and do some plugs. Is there anything going on that you want to talk about, Rob?
Yeah, I was talking to my coworker Leo today about the Rocky IV director's recut. It's being limited release in theaters tomorrow, and I believe it's coming to Netflix. And also United States of Insanity is a documentary about the Insane Clown Posse. It's going to be in limited release on Friday. And I think December 12th, it gets an official release, but it looks really interesting. So anyway, that's what's going on with me.
Cool, man. I know you've been talking about Rocky IV for like a month or two now.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I can't stop talking about it. Sorry.
No, that's cool. I still have to see 2 and I don't think I ever saw 2 and 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got the good ones there. 1 and 4 are very strong. You know, but 2 and 3 are also good in their own right. You know, they're all the movies are worth seeing, you know, just for like story continuity at the very least. Cool. So
are you a fan of the Creeds?
I only saw the first one. I still have to see the second one. My coworker Leo was also telling me, he's like, "Oh yeah, you got to see it. Like, there's some good things that they put in there too." So.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. The second one doesn't live up to the first one. I waited for it to come to TV, and I'm like, okay, I'm seeing it.
That's generally what I heard too. You know, that it's not quite as good, but you know, I still would very much like to see it. You know, and I probably will soon. So I'll let you know when I do.
Sounds good. And we're gonna do that Demolition Man movie party.
Simon Phoenix.
I love it. I'm a blast from the past.
Come on, Rambo.
What's your boggle?
Yeah. Erica, anything you want to plug tonight?
I'm about to vanish after we do probably the next episode. Or I have a different project coming up, but I'm not going to talk much about that. I am happy for a friend of mine. Her documentary she had been part of that she had been working on for a long time came out. It's about the show Dark Shadows.
Oh, wow. My mom used to love that show growing up.
Well, and I think I had sent it to you, Randy. I had said you should, but I didn't know who the promoter was. She was the editor.
Okay, can you send that to me again after the show?
All right.
Yeah, I'm curious because
maybe we'll even do that next time.
Perhaps
if it because I know it did come out.
Yeah,
like last month, I believe.
Okay, I never saw the original show, but the Tim Burton film is just atrocious.
Oh,
yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Definitely not.
No, I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it lives up to it. If it had been its own story.
Yeah. What was her? The actress Eva Green from she was in Casino Royale as well. She played the main character in Dark Shadows to Johnny Depp's character. She had like glass skin. It was like cracking.
Okay, she played the villain. Now I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like, she's not the main person. Johnny Depp is, and then you have Helen Bonham Carter, and you have what's her name? Playing the mother.
All right, guys. So we're about done here, but I just want to tell everybody if they want to check out previous episodes of Under the Radar, just go to the Under the Radar YouTube channel. Please subscribe and share that. Also, you could check out episodes of the show every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern on Manhattan Neighborhood Network. Also on the Lifestyle, that's the Lifestyle channel. And also you could check out the show on cable TV on channels FiOS 34, RCN 83, and Spectrum 56 and 1996. So check out Under the Radar. But Erica, Rob, I want to thank you so much for tonight. This was amazing.
Thank you for having us.
Always a pleasure. Nice to meet you, Erica.
Nice meeting you too.
Yeah, that about does it, guys. I'm Randy Younger. This is Under the Radar. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.